Tennessee Titans, what is up? We got your 2025 breakdown on Around the Felt Sports. I'm your host, Reagan Loer, here with my co-host, Colin Tong. We're going to be breaking down all things Titans tonight. Colin, how you doing? You ready to talk about them Titans? I'm fighting Titans.
Yeah, doing well, man. Titans, man, what a tough 2024 it was. But hey, new hope in town and first overall pick, Cam Ward. You guys can thank my New York Giants and Drew Lock for handing you Cam Ward. You're very welcome. Vegas, not very high on these Titans, a 5.5 win total. Some key additions, of course, Cam Ward, the new starting quarterback, Dan Moore Jr., who they paid a shit ton of money to be their left tackle, Kevin Zeitler, the veteran at guard to try to shore up this offensive line, Draymond Jones, Cody Barton, and Tyler Lockett added to the receiver room. Some losses, Harold Landry, their best pass rusher, Kenneth Murray, Tyler Boyd, Quandre Diggs, Nick Westbrook-Ikine, the touchdown machine himself, and Chidobe Awuzie. The Titans have a fairly easy schedule. That's what happens when you get the first overall pick. However, I don't know if the talent on this team is enough to take advantage of that, Reagan. What say you?
It's not. I got them going 5-12, so a 2-game improvement from last year, but ultimately I can't put too much stake in them. I put so much stake in this team last year to make the playoffs, and obviously we saw what happened. On paper, it's actually not a terrible roster when you look at it. Like, the offensive line should be good on paper. Will it be? Who knows? The wide receiver room isn't terrible. I mean, they got a couple of rookies they drafted, obviously, and
the wide receiver room is terrible.
Dike,
what do you mean?
No. I mean, on paper, it's not that bad. They got some guys that have had some impacts, and they drafted enough rookies that it's like, all right, maybe some of these guys pan out. I mean, between Ridley, Lockett, they're older guys, but that they're not like completely cooked. And Van Jefferson's shown some flashes. Okonkwo is not terrible at the tight end, and then the running back room with Pollard and Spears isn't bad. Like, they are setting up Cam Ward for success. I will say that, but it's like, a lot would have to click for this team to succeed, and that all comes down to Cam Ward. I mean, the only way this team is a playoff team and has a chance to win a division is if Cam Ward is like Jaden Daniels of last year out of the gate and just completely turns everything around. Because they do have some names. On the defensive side of the ball, they definitely got some names. I mean, like Jeffrey Simmons is one of the best D tackles in the league. I mean, you could make a case top 3 at his peak. And the linebacker core is not terrible. And then obviously Sneed is a beast. So they got some guys on the defensive side of the ball, but it's just hard to put that kind of stock in Ward right away to just succeed and turn this team around, because it was just so pitiful last year. And I am curious, like, will we see I don't know why I was blanking out, but will we see Brian Callahan be on the hot seat if like it's another like 3-4 win season and
Absolutely.
Cam Ward shows no flashes? I mean, they could, if they win 5 games, but Cam Ward shows a lot of progression throughout the year, then he'll be fine. But if it's like Cam Ward seems to be struggling and there's no true development throughout the season, then he might be on the outs. But what do you got them going?
I agree with that point that you just made. Absolutely. So I also have them going 5-12. So very funny that we have the same record for this team. Like, I just don't like this roster at all, to be honest with you. The big thing for Titans fans, and it sucks that it's only a 2-win change for me, but Cam Ward will be absolutely an upgrade over Will Levis. Cam Ward had the lowest sack rate in the entire class at 2.9%, so he's able to evade pressure. Levis got sacked all the goddamn time. Ward had below a 2% INT rate. As we all know, Levis threw a shit ton of interceptions, including a lot of pick sixes, which is bad. He's an off-script playmaker. He's very accurate downfield. He does have a bit of a boom or bust play style, which he'll have to clean up. You can't have that many bust plays in the NFL because it will bite you in the ass, as Will Levis has learned. But I think Cam Ward, no matter what, is certainly an upgrade here. The offensive line, it does look good on paper. Last year, they were not great. 27th in ESPN's pass block win rate, 25th pass block grade by PFF. So both organizations were very low on this pass protection. However,
on paper, they look good, though.
I know. You add Dan Moore Jr., who you gave $82 million, but he allowed 12 sacks last year. That was the second most in the league, Reagan. That's dicey, in my opinion. But hey, Their offensive line coach, Callahan's father is considered, Bill Callahan, one of the best offensive line coaches in the game. So clearly he saw something he liked. I still like Skoronski. You're hoping he's going to be that guard that you expect him to be when you took him early in the first round. J.C. Latham now can kick over to the right side. He just took 7th overall, his natural position, instead of playing left. So that should be an upgrade there. Kevin Zeitler was also the 3rd best run-blocking offensive lineman, according to PFF, last year in Detroit. So that should help as well, right? The offensive line does look better on paper, which should help Ward. The running back room, I'm not particularly high on. Pollard did eclipse 300 touches last year. Hopefully, if this offensive line figures it out and they perform like they should, Pollard could be a sleeper in fantasy football for sure.
No, he already is, just off his sheer volume.
Yeah.
And ADP. He's going as like an 8th rounder that's going to get like 300 touches. You don't see that kind of volume. And Spears has got juice as well.
I know. Spears has juice. He only played 12 games last year. That's the only worry with Pollard is, hey, because a lot of guys were really high on Spears last year before his rookie year. Does he eat into a lot of those?
Well, he's already injured too. He's
carries.
Already like on the pup right now with the ankle injury that he suffered in preseason. I mean, it sounds like he should hopefully be ready, but there's a chance he misses some time as well. I know he got injured in the first preseason game.
Well, that's just really good for Tony Pollard fantasy holders, to be honest with you. I think this wide receiver room is absolutely trash. I like Calvin Ridley. I think Ridley will be the biggest benefactor of Cam Ward because Cam Ward can push the ball downfield accurately. Levis could not do that. And Calvin Ridley, he's no slouch. He's a good player. And he still eclipsed 1,000 yards last year and had 4 touchdowns, right? So I like Ridley. I think Lockett is washed. I think the guys they added in the draft, Chamir Dike from Florida, he was a great deep threat there. I mean, also another guy that was killed by quarterback play. So maybe he outperforms his draft status with a quarterback like Cam Ward that is accurate downfield. He's a dark horse breakout player. Then Elic Ayomanor from Stanford, he could be a player too. So there's some interesting options here.
You were high on him a couple months ago because you were talking about how he cooked Travis Hunter in college.
He did cook Travis Hunter in college. He exploded for 3 touchdowns and nearly 200 yards. I think he went over 200 yards.
Yeah.
Right? But he just wasn't consistent. Is that him or is that Stanford's offense? Because they haven't been
going to lean on Stanford
in a while.
They're terrible.
Right? So that's the thing. With their 2 receivers they drafted in the 4th round, there's potential there. They were both hurt by bad quarterback play in college.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley hurt by bad quarterback play in the NFL. So it lies on Cam Ward, right? It's all about Cam Ward. Defensively, I'm sorry. I hate this defense. I hate it. Who do you like on that front outside of – I mean, their D tackles are good, right?
Yeah,
T'Vondre Sweat
is a beast.
Sweat from Texas. I mean, that was a home run pick out of them. He's been a beast for them next to Jeffrey Simmons. Simmons he hasn't been that elite guy. Now, maybe that's because the Titans suck, and it's all right, you kind of lose a little motivation.
I don't know. He's been pretty good.
He's still been very good, but he hasn't been,
I guess,
elite.
Yeah, he's had some good seasons.
Right? But look at the edge rushers, man. Who do you like at edge? They were 29th in pressure rate last year, 22nd in sacks, and they lost their best pass rusher, Harold Landry. I'm sorry. Arden Key, 69th in pressure rate last year. Lorenzo Carter, former Giant, former Falcon. He had 0 sacks in over 400 snaps last year. Who the hell is going to rush the passer here if it's not Simmons from the interior?
Well, yeah, Simmons,
teams.
And also, to be fair, Simmons has been elite, but over the past few years, he's definitely had a drop off because, he was a 2nd-team All-Pro in 21 and 22.
Yeah, what has he
done?
But
obviously, he's had a drop off.
Yeah,
23 and he made the Pro Bowl last year, but that doesn't mean shit. The Pro Bowl we've seen, that's. Doesn't mean shit. He's definitely dropped off. I mean, he's also 28 now, so he's
still top 10 at the position. Still top 10.
I would argue top 5.
Man, he's not better than Dexter Lawrence. Not better than Chris Jones. Not better than Quinn Williams. Not better than Jalen Carter at this stage.
I'm just saying he's in that conversation with them, though.
He is. Yeah, he is. I don't think he's that elite top tier, but I think he's that 2nd tier. Yeah, but who else is rushing the passer here, man? Because you could double team Simmons. Sweat is a beast, but how big of a pass rush threat is he at this stage of his career? He's more of a run stuffer, right? So and then the edge rushers suck. So I don't think they're going to after the quarterback at all. The secondary, Sneed only played 5 games last year. You traded for him, gave him a ton of money. So immediately your secondary should be better this year with a healthy Sneed, because it was night and day with him on the field last year. They were significantly better with him there. And I like Roger McCreary in the slot. They took him out of Auburn a couple years ago. I like McCreary in the slot, but outside of that, I don't like anything else in the secondary. For me, it's a rookie quarterback with a garbage defense and very questionable weapons. And I don't know if I believe in Callahan as a head coach. Unfortunately, Titans fans, I don't think this is your year. I don't think it's going to be a Jaden Daniels type of impact. 5-12 for me. Hey, maybe next year in the top 10, you add a premier weapon for Cam Ward, and he shows you, hey, he's your guy. You're confident with him going forward. That, to me, would be a successful season for Tennessee, not like a Bryce Young rookie season where it's, oh, shit, panic button time.
Yeah, I mean, Callahan so far has proven that he's a loser. I mean, even in the stuff in the press conference last year just was not like throwing players on the bus. I don't know, not a whole lot of accountability, because I was so high on the Titans last year. You know, I loved what he did with Jake Browning and the Bengals, like when he took over, and like the Bengals didn't really skip that big of a beat. And it was almost like, you know, obviously a big downgrade from Burrow, but the offense still looked pretty good in that 1 year with Jake Browning. And there was like a point where I'm like, damn, like, could this guy be a starter in the league? And then I was like, fully expecting him to fix Will Levis. And last year, just the offense was so clunky and inconsistent. And obviously, you know, they were the worst offense in the league, or one of the worst offenses in the league. And this guy's supposed to be an offensive mind. So, you know, if it's a bad season and Cam Ward doesn't show much, I mean, his seat's already flaming hot. Like,
yeah, he's toast. Absolutely. And, you know, I do want to say, like, it was a complete scheme shift in Tennessee. Like, you went from having Derrick Henry and being an under center power team running play action off of that to then trying to spread it out with 3 wide, like similar to what they do in Cincinnati. But you just don't have the weapons to run that offense. Hopefully now one of these young bucks can emerge and Calvin Ridley would be better with a Cam Ward at quarterback. But I don't know. That's like trying to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, a complete culture shift, complete change in 1 year. It's rare that works out year one. Maybe his message got through. Maybe he feels like he has the pieces and the quarterback to run a system this year. But 100% agree with you. If Cam Ward doesn't show a lot of promise and growth, yeah, he's toast.
Oh,
with all that being said, Reagan, who's your MVP for the Tennessee Titans in 2025?
Yeah, my MVP is Jeffrey Simmons, man. He's going to be the whole entire defense. I mean, he has been, you know, he's the guy that's been the all-pro. He's also my D-boy. But, you know, it all starts with him. If he's to miss any time, I mean, this defense is going to be Swiss cheese. I mean, you know, like there goes your run defense, and there goes your, I mean, obviously Sweat's great on the run defense, but there goes your whole pass rush right there. So they need this guy. You know, he's taking on double teams. I mean, this is the guys that other offenses are circling at beforehand. Like, we need to do everything to stay away from this guy and beat him all else. So that's my MVP.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I'll go different route here, and I'll go Calvin Ridley, a little rejuvenation of his career. Because, hey, if you can eclipse 1,000 yards with Will Levis, you can eclipse 1,200, 1,300 with Cam Ward, especially when everything else around you outside of Lockett is very unproven. But we've seen Lockett's play really nosedive off a cliff, so I don't think he's really that big of a threat. And look, like I mentioned it earlier, Cam Ward's got a great deep ball. He could push the ball to the intermediate and outside parts of the field. Calvin Ridley will be the biggest benefactor of that. I mean, shit, Cam Ward was even saying Calvin Ridley's a top 5 wide receiver in football before he got drafted by the Titans, showing like, hey, that's going to be my guy. So Calvin Ridley, if he goes down, it's hard to think that Ward is going to be successful, because who is he throwing the football to that you're really confident at this point? So I will go Calvin Ridley in that regard.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. X
factor for you. It's a Cam Ward. It's got to be Cam Ward, the quarterback.
Cam Ward. I mean, if he, you know, I'm not going to. Him and Jaden Daniels are obviously different, but it's like similar situation where it's a team, you know, that's bottom 3 team the year prior, and can he be that X factor that, you know, not only like elevates his play to a crazy amount in year one, but it's just like franchise changing, culture changing, like just showing that like he's boosting everybody else. Because you know, coming into last year with the Commanders, we were all like, yeah, they got some guys, but kind of similar here with the Titans, where like they got some guys, you know, they obviously have Terry, you know, we're not sure about the running back room, like pointing out all the flaws and how it's going to be hard. And it was like he covered up so many things on both sides of the ball. Obviously, Dan Quinn's a lot more proven as a head coach, you know, brought the Falcons to the Super Bowl than Brian Callahan. But if he can have that kind of impact year one and at least, have them, winning 7-8 games, I'm not even saying they have to win the division or make the playoffs, but just a clear, like, going from 3 to like 6 to 8 wins, that's huge.
Yeah, I can't say it any better myself, my friend. Right there with you. Who is your rookie of the year? It's Cam Ward. Okay,
Yeah.
Next question. D-Boy, you got Jeffrey Simmons.
Simmons, yeah.
I'll play devil's advocate here and go L'Jarius Sneed. The difference when he was on the field compared to off was very significant. It was nearly 2 yards per coverage snap differential. Like, it was like in the 7s to down in the 5s with Sneed on the field versus off. So I'm going to go Sneed here because if he's down, I mean, teams are going to throw the ball around the yard against the secondary. I think they'll do that
regardless.
They probably will because, McCreary's pretty solid in the slot, but your other boundary corner is a major question mark. And if Sneed is not healthy again, shit, it's going to be a long year for this defense because we already know they're lacking pass rush talent. They're not going to be able to get after the passer. They need sticky coverage. Sneed has shown he can be an elite corner in this league. They need him to be at his best if this defense can have any shot of being competitive and giving Ward a chance to win games down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Fantasy football. Who do you like on this Titans offense?
Yeah, I mean, I like Tony Pollard a lot. I already talked about that. Like, he's an extreme value going in that kind of like 7th, 8th, 9th round, depending on your format. I mean, he's a guy that had over 250 touchdowns last year. I don't mind Spears either. He's got the change of pace. Like, I think he's flexible. I'm taking Cam Ward in best ball drafts just because it's like, listen, like, he's the number 1 overall pick. He's got the rushing upside. I guess he's not crazy rushing, but he's mobile enough that he can add that with his legs. And it's just like, what if? What if he is Jaden Daniels? It's like you're getting him at an incredible value. Wide receiver wise, I'm not really touching Ridley. I don't love it. Lockett, I'm not touching. I'm taking between the 2 rookies that we think might have an impact. I'm taking them both late in best ball just for the fact that, like, hey, maybe these guys could become the number 1 wide receiver. Like, I don't think it's that crazy to think that either of those 2 rookies could overcome Ridley or Lockett at this point. And then Okonkwo I've been taking a lot, but that's just because the tight end landscape is so weird and stuff, but he's like kind of freaky athletic. So, and we've seen him take a couple like 50-yard plusers to the house. So just because of his pure athletic ability, I'm taking some dart throws on him.
Yeah, the only guy I'm really targeting is Calvin Ridley here. I guess I'm more bullish on him than you are, just because, he's the clear number 1 target. And, he went for over 1,000. Granted, it wasn't a sexy 1,000 yards by any stretch of the means. He only had 4 touchdowns. If he did that with Levis, Levis is trash. He's also out for the year, Levis, so they don't even have him as a backup. But
I wonder if that actually worked out better for him missing the year.
Yeah,
But if he truly was injured, it kind of makes sense. You're not going to start like rehab and stuff, like, and then
it's a shoulder too. It's your throwing shoulder. Like, he needs that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's fine. But I'll go Ridley because I do believe that Cam Ward at the least will elevate this passing game. Pollard's fine. The touches are there, right? Volume wins in fantasy football. I just don't know how many touchdowns this team's going to score. But hey, if we're right about this offensive line getting significantly better with Latham at his natural spot in year 2, Skoronski year 3, you add Zeitler, Moore, who I'm not super high on, they gave a shit ton of money to. If he lives up to that contract, then hey, maybe we're underestimating this offense a little bit. And maybe Chamir Dike late. I like Dike a little bit more than Ayomanor. Go Gators, baby.
Chop? Can we get a chop out of you?
Yeah, go Gators. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Come on.
But yeah, no, it should be interesting. But I just think there's so many, and Restrepo even I've like taken in like 1 or 2 just because of the like college connection. I know people said that he might get cut, but I would think, even if he gets cut, they're adding him back to the practice squad. They're not going to cut their number 1 overall picks, like college teammate.
Yeah, he was his go-to guy at Miami. It just sucks that Restrepo ran over a 4.6 because that's why. A slot guy running a
4.8.
I don't know his exact. I know it was above a 4.6, which is a huge red flag for a slot receiver. That's why you go undrafted. Because I watched a lot of Cam Ward before the draft, and I was like, shit, Restrepo is a dog. Like, he played really well at Miami, but I just don't know if it's going to work against NFL caliber talent.
Yeah.
Titans fans, what constitutes a successful season for you in your mind? Is it just progress, more wins, and Cam Ward is the future, or are you expecting to try to compete for this division championship in 2025? We'd love to hear from you. Drop a like, drop a comment.
Bye-bye, Brian Callahan.